Well, welcome back again. So hey, as parts come in, actually get a chance to start putting things together, switching things around the way I should have waited and just intentionally did them in the first place, but that's okay. RC is a constant game of switching, twisting, moving things, and changing it. So what we got here is my RedShift, Chuckworks RedShift, with the backyard art, or I'm sorry, not backyard, with Chuckworks RC bodies, scarecrow body. Take a minute. I'm going to be switching transmissions around today. This evening in this. Right now, I currently have a RPM transmission in there, and I'm going to remove the RPM transmission. I think I got 500,000 diff fluid in that. I think I only got 200,000 in this. I may end up at some point popping that out, redoing the diff to 500,000. I think in the description I said 500,000. And at any rate, I'm going to pull the tranny out of the Chuckworks and get the ProLine tranny installed. Swap out this RPM tranny. One of the problems with the RPM tranny that I see a lot of people talk about, and I've had this issue with RPM stuff in the past, the plastic is very durable, but it's softer. Being softer, it's more effective when things get hot. It flexes and deforms a little more, springs back to where it's supposed to in most cases, so it does handle impacts and stuff. Great for off-road stuff. Sometimes maybe a little too flexible for on-road. As I said in one of my last videos, they really don't offer on-road items. Some, I mean, you can get some Fortec arms, and I don't know if they're the same composite, but I presume they are. But what I want to do here, as I was saying, is I need to swap this tranny system. I'm going to get rid of this RPM tranny and install the ProLine 32 pitch Pro Series tranny in there. And this is the tranny I just pulled out a couple of days ago out of the tarp system that I originally put in my OMB 6001 Stage 3 tarp build. But as I said, I'm going to pull it out, pull that out of there because that's getting my tarp is getting a Drag Race Concepts mid-motor transmission. So I'm going to put the ProLine transmission in here, and as you can see in the ProLine, I've got the Custom Works. These are actually the banded arms, or they're normal arms. They're not actually banded set up. I had to come up with some spacers. They've got a banded packaged set of arms now from Custom Works. The same arms, but they just have spacers. These are the banded width arms, but the carriers are real sloppy in here, so they don't quite. You got to find some spacers to take up the room in those carriers, or else they won't quite work properly. So I'm going to go ahead and swap these pieces out and get these other units in here. That's right, I got the stockers there. So while I'm swapping those out, I need to install the rear hinge pins for the STRCs. I'm surprised they don't sell. Amazing, I have nuts. You buy an STRC hinge pit set, they don't come, amazingly, for a banded or a slash, whatever. They don't come with these rear hinge pins. You got to buy them separately. Not quite sure why that is. Get the rest of them, the fronts, the steering blocks, the rear mains. Just don't get the outer ones. So you got to buy those separately. So okay, I bought them separately. It is what it is. Move these over here, and we'll put this one over there, just so they're out the way. I can actually sit there, so I can kind of level out of the way a little bit more. Let me see, where are my eyes? I'll put these. I think I need the other one. So we're going to. This is going to be a little. Yes, that's going to need to come off. Wheelie bar's got to come off. shock tower's got to come off. Let me see where I'm going to set these. I'll set these on that. That'll be a good place for these right now. Close by the lip top, it ain't going to fall everywhere. Okay. These bad boys out of here. So I can lift that up. And get these out. So I'm removing the screws in the shock tower right now. Probably will still end up having to actually move the full rear. Actually, I could have left those on that side, quite literally. Go ahead and put these back on the back side. Leave them a little loose, because I should be able to take that whole rear setup off as a one-piece setup. So, slop on it, flip over. We have a larger wrench. That one's too big of one. That's sloppy. That one's looking better. That's a nice good end. That's a little sloppy too. Good wrenches. There we go. Loctite. And why I'm here, I'm going to take these off or loose. Loosen these two up. Front of the tranny. Now I should be able to pop these two off. And in doing so, basically get the whole shock tower and rear wheelie bar off. Something else. We'll see in a second here. And bam. Okay, we're going to go ahead and pop these off because these are going to get replaced. And we'll open me up. Hello? Hello? Alright, call from my aunt, so let me go ahead. I gotta save that. Actually, it's my Uncle Dave's phone. My aunt and my Uncle Dave are actually husband and wife, they're brother and sister. My mom's brother and sister. Okay, there we go. It saves him. So, let's see, we got those off. If I take those out like this, at least for now, and like that, now that at least gives me enough room to move. I can put those on once I get it out the rest of the way. Two more here because these are loose. I undid it yesterday just to move it out, and of course I got the DRK ESC to match with this motor, and the MMAX will be pulling out of my MMAX and going into the low center of gravity LCG slash rig I'm building as a 13.5 street stock rig. So I'm going to be doing a little electronic swap it and a few things here before I'm done. But I pulled this out yesterday to make sure. This is a McLaren V2M. This is the pre-DRK McLaren, but this is the 4.5 drag tune motor, so it's already got the aluminum screws in the front, the aluminum screws in the back. The long screws, this is the long screw can, where you need the whole long screw to go through. But this has already been a drag tune spec motor. There's almost like no room on the arbor, so it's already been well shimmed. I'm going to check it on the motor checker when I get here, but this is going to be now paired with the DRK, so I'll have the DRK ESC running the pre-DRK 4.5 drag spec motor, basically. And I also have the rotor for the DRK. I was talking to some of the clan guys, and I put the DRK rotor in here. It's going to beef up this little motor to be at least as good as what the DRK version is. I may end up buying ceramic bearings for it at some point, putting those in as well. But anywho, that's a little different situation. So we got this out. We'll let her sit right here. I'm going to remove these off to get rid of some of that heat because they will grab heat and hold it. It sounds like people are home. Right there, there's that there. Move these here. I hear bags, so she bought stuff. Pop this puppy right on out of here. Let's see, which one is that? It's not that one. It's that one. Ooh, wrong side. Not that one. Oh, I know which one that is. It's this one.
Cough, cough, cough.
Nice. Is that all they had?
Yeah, they didn't have any.
What weird place did you stop?
The Dollar General.
Well, you should have stopped at Speedway. You would have got the $1.20 off and used the other thing and got the discount. It would have been $13 or something, $14 like that. At any rate, they never listen. Never freaking listen. Went in town by 8 different Speedway gas stations. She stops at the Dollar General on the way out to buy cigarettes. Never listen. Pop this puppy on out of here.
I didn't spend everything that I had, and also I stopped by my parents and got that stuff. And I also had a bunch of coupons. I also had camel coupons as well, but there was like 4 or 5 Marlboro coupons.
Mm-hmm.
So I did use coupons.
It helps. But yeah, I just didn't with the
Yeah, I don't know what
card
the camel thing is.
they got a lot better deals.
Well, I tried, but I couldn't log into my Marlboro account on my phone, so I have to look it up. I'm not going to hold everybody up to the coupon.
No, that's why I suggested you try to do that before you left.
Well, I saw the app on there. I don't know why it's not. I've never had to retype in my shit before.
Because they changed things a year ago. And you would have got an email that said you need to re-log in and reset up your stuff. All right. Pull this baby out. Let's go ahead and find my. What's that in? What's that in? It's kind of crappy. Oh, crappy. Set these aside. Allen wrenches. So once I get them loosened out. Chest there, come on. Okay. That's that. This could come out. fall out of that. I've got over here for a moment. So these four we're going to dump in here. PL Tranny. We'll keep these nuts out. These screws and washers out. Those two are for the back. We don't need these two anymore because I got those in that one. And I actually don't need these ones because those will go in the other one because I already got them in here. Okay. So that's pretty good. Take this. Swap this out. Get these screws out of here. Trim this up. I didn't like the way that thing was just hanging out there the other way. Didn't quite get her. I'm just trimming this plate up a little bit so it fits a little better in position and is a little more hidden once it's in place. These puppies started. These two in place. Stand up a little bit, my back. A little pinchy. I already got these arms set to pretty much 0. I may have to, give a little toe in or readjust them a little bit once I'm doing my final setup. That's why I've got the Custom Works rear arms on this tranny. ProLine tranny comes as a stock transmission, you know, mimic to the Traxxas, which I believe those are a 3-degree rear toe off the transmission. They do the same thing with the ProLine, but we're in obviously reverse position, so it makes it 3 degrees toe back. So you gotta kind of whip things around and move, you know, twist things around or swap things around. In this case, I just went ahead and got the the Custom Works adjustable rear arms, and I put those in place. Do this. Put those in place. Helicopter. So yeah, put the talking about something putting something in place there. You know, Custom Works, yeah, put them on the other car, the tarp with this tranny, and got them pretty much set to 0 toe. But again, I may have to adjust them when the time is done. Trying to get the screw to nut to go on the screw here. It's in a really tight position here, but it does go, I believe. So just in the right position to get in there, though. She really snugged into that spot. Sure, I had these things screwed down before. At least on the back on the other rig. Okay. Let me take a peek here. I'm going to need my bigger eyes. That is a close one now. See if I should go on there. Maybe not. Maybe I didn't have those in there. Okay, let me go ahead and grab. I'll run those in and just let them stick up. I'll see if I can find a smaller nut that goes on there better. I'm running this bolts. I got a little bit longer bolts. These are, I think, 12 millimeters, and you only need like 8s. so I could run through and then put a nut on the top side, but there's just not quite enough room to get a nut there, I don't think. So we'll run them up, put them on. And I may need to trim just a smidge off to maybe try to put a nut on there to help over. Those what come, the nuts come with the RPM setup. Okay. So when you buy the RPM Tranny, they come fully assembled, ready to bolt right in. But like I say, I took mine apart. I'm sorry, not the RPM. We read a Pro line, Pro Series, 32 pitch tranny. They come ready to assemble. Everything's good to go. Just got to put it in. But I went ahead and took mine apart, and of course installed Fast Eddy Ceramic Bearings in the transmission. And then I bolted up. Okay. Okay. You could probably have to be loosened up so they swivel around a little bit. And I can get these other ones in there. I'm having problems getting those two started, so I'm going to loosen these four up a tad. Allow me to wiggle that tranny a little bit. Get these other screws started in place. Okay. Loosen these up a little more, get a little more slop out of this. You want to get these, actually I thought I had them, but you want to get these screws good and started first, so you're not trying to thread in and get off and start screwing up threads. These are just plastic cases, and you start cross threading, you're going to weaken your grip, and your case is going to get loose and start bouncing around and not be any good results. Okay, now let's see what we can do here. Bring these ones up and just kind of bring them snug. Get yourself centered and lined. You can see me a little bit better where I'm at, what I'm doing. Getting these ones fed in here. God, that thing wasn't quite kicked up, and when I stand up, I move it up because I'm just tired of sitting. We'll go to the back too and get these ones tightened, at least snugged a little bit. Yeah. Get these front ones the rest of the way down, at least to a point. Now, as you can tell, this is the carbon fiber. It's a composite. One of Chuck's, I guess it's Chuck's own composite blend that he says he has made or makes. I'm not sure which. Very nice rigid chassis. The upper bars, if anybody's seen, the upper parts are made out of it. There we go. Let's tighten those up. Give this little baby a spin. Give those a snug and a spin. Get those snuggied in. Almost got this tranny at least back in as far as the tranny goes. Snuggy, snuggy. Snuggy. See, I'll try to work with what I can do. I might not need them. I might just be able to put smaller, shorter bolts in here. Call it good after that. Make sure we have them good and tight though. Proline plastic's pretty good. I mean, it's pretty rigid, so you can tighten pretty well into it, but it is plastic. Keep that in mind. And that there. These two, finish these up. Okay. That pretty much sets that back into place. I've got a couple some motor mount bolts coming. I think they might be the 175 RCs with the titanium bolts and then colored washers to match. Yeah. So I got some of those on the way. Okay, there we go. All I gotta do is get my mount holes lined up. I didn't get that out. Let's see if maybe I can make it work in this one. Should be able to. Wipe that out of there. Now you can tell this Proline plate is silver. No, I didn't swap it out with one of the older ones. I took and took the anodizing of it. This might not work with this thing here. Might not be able to use these tracks, this little things in here. It's got to go in just the right way. Nope, doesn't work with it. It's okay. Don't need it. I do need to. Thing in its right position. So now let's get the motor bolts I'm using right now back in. Couldn't hurt with that shiny plate. There we go. Now we're getting into the better position for it. I'm going too far forward, and I gotta pull them back. Switch. Enough to snug those up. What the hell is up with that? Something is not right now. Yeah, a little tight there. Something's still not right. I'm binding up on something now. It's something to do with the way I got it too tight on the bottom or something. Or something too long the screws. That might be it. Yeah. And that's what should be. So let me back these puppies out. This way I don't have to kill my wrist once more. Put a couple shorter ones in. These two shorter ones are right here. There we go. That's another little tweak here with this thing. I'm going to have to come up with a different spacer piece, I believe, because that's part of the deal. Or I need to have something come underneath the rear end of this tranny. Is that what those little things are? I'm going to check some few things out. I think I'm going to pause right there for a few minutes because there's a couple pieces that come with, well, I guess those come with the RPM Trannies. Pretty much, this RPM Tranny's got a drop down, so it comes over the back when it's normally mounted. With this being rear mounted, it's not being used, so it's pushing up in there a little bit. That spacer that I get with the Chuckworks isn't thick enough, and I've actually collapsed it down on the back really good, but it won't collapse in the front because it's too tight, which is part of the reason why things aren't quite square. So I'm going to have to rethink this a little bit, come up with, here, I'll show you guys. This spacer here, the white one that I trimmed, that goes up underneath the tranny from Chuckworks. You can see it's collapsing down on the back. If you look at the front of the Proline tranny, it's got this drop down. That edge usually rides along this back on the chassis, but now it's in the front with the tarp. They've got a plate down there, so there's a carbon fiber plate. It's a motor plate Drag Race Concepts makes, and it's like 4 millimeters. So I'll probably end up having to buy that to run that carbon fiber plate underneath this tranny, so I can kick that tranny up a little bit, make that all set square. See, I missed that when I was thinking about this and how to put it together. I totally missed that spot. I forgot about that lip on this Proline tranny and how that's going to interfere. So I'm going to end up hanging out right there until I can get that Proline tranny set up, because I'm going to have to undo and redo all this stuff. So I'm going to pack this stuff up gently from here. These two can come back into that box. These 4, and those 2 nuts can go in there. This can slide back into that for now. Put that up out of my way. This can go, I'll put it over here with this stuff for now. And then put these in the back spacer here. Yeah, that's right. Just screw them into this spot for a few moments. The other ones that go in there, but this is just to keep these up out of the way and not get lost. Alright, where'd you fall? There it is. So I'm going to be in a partial bit of tear down here on this rig too. So I'm going to have to get something for that, or come up with something. Maybe I can go find some firm plastic, like, you know, a cutting board or something, and cut a spacer out of that. That'll be nice and firm and do what I need it to do and be where I need it to be. And go from there. So, okay, well, I'm going to pause it at the moment. I'm going to keep those ones right there because those are the decent size ones. Run that back up there. I think these are my other decent ones, so I'm going to put those here for now. It seemed to work pretty good. Slide you back there. Slide you back there. Okay, and that's about it. I'll don't know that I'll do another video yet tonight. I may get a bug in my butt and finish something different up. But I gotta go through a few things and check a few things out. Like I said, with the Drag Race Concepts tranny, it's going on the rear wheel or rear motor setup slash. That's pretty close to ready. I think I got my other bolts. Now I took them out of this because I needed a couple of the bolts. I tried swapping things around. I'll probably wait till tomorrow anyways. So anyways, swapping some things around the RedShift. Like I said, I still got the ESC to move around. I've got ceramic bearings from Backyard RC to stick in my carriers. I just had stocks that I threw in here for now. I'm going to go ahead and ceramic it up because they're a pretty decent price. So if you need ceramic bearings, Fast Eddy is always great. And then Backyard RC over on Facebook. Justin's got a nice set of ceramic bearings and a fair price as well. So that's it. We'll talk to you a little bit later. See ya.